And after the C, you can see the C ends, and now we get into these back and forth things, all this. So now we're in the second part of the small intestine. This is all jejunum. Now, you can't really tell where jejunum stops and ileum begins, so if I'm going to tag it, I'm going to tag it up here by the duodenum so that you know you have a reference point. But at some point, you would just change your name, and then I go, ileum. But there's no real way to tell where it is. Okay, and all of this stuff that's holding the small intestine together and pinning it to the posterior body wall, this is all mesentery. The mesentery is actually a component of the visceral peritoneum. It has all the blood vessels. See, those are all the blood vessels in it. All right, so this is all ileum. And then you'll see another texture change. You can see here I got a big fat flat thing with not much, when you feel it, you'll be able to tell the difference. This has got a ropey texture to it, and this is very flat and much broader. So this is the junction here. You can see this is small intestine, and that's what large intestine looks like. Totally different fabric. Okay, so then you'll see that the small intestine kind of junctions not at the bottom again. So it's going to junction at another sphincter point, and that is called the ileocecal valve because the last part of the small intestine is ileum, and the first part of the large intestine is cecum, so that's the valve that separates the small from the large intestine. And that one is evident on that cat over there. We got it open. And so it should look like a butthole because it's another sphincter. Mm-hmm. All your sphincters should look like buttholes because that's what anus is. So then there's going to be an area that's below the entry point. So the area below the entry point is called the cecum here. Okay, then, now it's all oriented weird because I got it pulled out. This is the orientation for the large intestine. So that would be cecum down there. And then it has ascending colon.
Oh, okay.
And then you'll see it makes a turn. So that's transverse colon. And then it starts heading down. Descending colon. And then when you get down towards the bottom, this is called rectum. And what's unique about this compared to us is we would have another, it would be much more clearly defined. On here it's descending and then rectum, and it's kind of guesswork on where the junction point is. But on us, we will have another segment of colon called the sigmoid. They do not have that in the cat. So you're missing a segment. So we have ascending, transverse, descending, rectum, and then if I tag anus, I tag it from this end.
And now ours is is a little more like that, right?
Well, this one is too. I've got them all popped
Okay.
out. It's correct, but it's just theirs goes up in a U, whereas ours goes up and down, and then it makes a zigzag towards the center.
Okay.
So they have a much more of a horseshoe shape, and ours has got more zigzags to it.
Okay.
So that gives you the intestinal tract. Then there's a couple membranes. This big fat apron, this would actually lay over the entire top of the intestinal tract. If you had them all put in there, it would lay like this. And this is called the greater omentum. It has your lymph nodes and your fat, and that's like what's going to protect you because you don't have any bones over here. So if somebody punched you in the gut, you need a little bit of a cushion. So that's what your fat is. And it's also part of your beer belly. So if you got a little extra around there, you got more in there than you need. So that's that. Then the membrane that kind of connects the stomach to the liver here, there's a membrane here. This is your lesser omentum. Okay, and then they also will attach the spleen to the stomach through this membrane here, and that's your gastrosplenic ligament. So basically with these, it's going to be looking like a relationship. Okay, that's the stomach, that's the spleen. So what would that be called? Gastrosplenic. Okay, this is connecting liver to stomach, so that would be the lesser omentum. So you just kind of got to look at the relationships of what's there. Okay, I think that completes one list. An abdomen.
That's just one list.